Blessings, salutations. My name is Yurima Karama here with another segment of Voices from Behind the Wall. This particular segment, I wanted to talk about, and I'm talking about some, as you know, I've been going through some personal, individual people that I know, changing some of the names up, but still kind of telling their story. So this next person I want to talk about is a brother by the name of Jared, and I met Jared. During a portion of my incarceration, I was making the transition uh, to the knowledge base. I was going through the books at this particular time, reading Destruction of Black Civilization, Behold a Pale Horse, the ISIS papers, things like that. And so you start to make a transition. Went through basically all the books by the lineage of Sheikh Anta Diop, and so was making a transition. And this brother had just come to the unit, and he approached and he was like, "Hey, brother, I'm teaching a business class. Be teaching a business class is starting this week. You should come down and check it out. Might be some information that you can use." And I was like, okay, that sounds good. Now, at this point, I'm very receptive, so I'm listening. Any type of information, I'm soaking it up like a sponge, and I'm also doing a lot of researching. The one thing I found that was pretty profound, and this is where I really started to watch like black culture as far as how we view getting information, especially from one of our own. So I went to this brother's classes and was taking notes. And matter of fact, I think I probably still have some of the notes. I think I sent them home, but was taking notes because this brother basically was teaching us step by step how to start a corporation. Was talking about board members. Was talking about the companies that he had. And when I say looking at black culture, this is where I really started to see um, how you can get information from somebody of your same color, and you see others going to question white people to validate what this brother and so I was seeing that it was. And what was so crazy about it is that you had a class full of basically all brothers. I mean, there was a couple white guys in there, a couple white guys in the class, but you had a class full of, and this brother Jared's classes would be packed. I mean, we're talking 30, 40, 50 people sometimes. There would be standing room, people pulling in chairs from the outside. And for being in the prison environment, that's big. If you can draw like that, that especially for a class, something educational, that's big. And so he would have all these class, and then you would see a lot of these brothers, man, just like running back. And what was crazy is that they would be running, asking or getting validation from some of the white guys who didn't have corporations, didn't know anything about corporations, and the white guys would be pulling up talking to Jared, like getting all the info. And that's not to say that there weren't brothers that were doing that as well, because there were. I was one of them, because I always eventually I knew, I said, you know what, I want to eventually run my own ship. But then coming to find out how easy it was to get started. And you think about this, you have to go through this process. And he led us step by step and was like, basically, if you had somebody out there, you could do that from in here. Basically set you up a corporate structure. And, and so I took it, and it was just profound information. And just his intellect on knowing, and his business savvy. And I think Jared I believe he was out of Boston, Connecticut, somewhere up around there on that East Coast line. But it was just, the universe, it has that tendency to introduce you to the people that you need. And so now, I'm here, and had started my own corporation, and the first one that I did, my mentoring service, Y Our Urban Youth LLC, it was so easy to do. But you're always thinking that there's this long drawn out process that you got to go through, and there is a process. But the way he explained it and how you set up the different board of directors and the board meetings and how many minutes per month or per year or per quarter, I mean, he went through all of that and just broke that structure down and went so in depth on the corporate structure itself, and just being able to, the write-offs that you can do and being able to put things in your name, or not in the business's name, so that you get tax breaks and all of that. He went through the whole thing. But what I always found kind of humorous was the brothers that would go back, the black men that would go back and would be skeptical and would have to question and ask white guys who, I don't know if they had any business savvy or not, but to have to ask them to validate. And that's a problem. That's a problem that you not only in prison, but that's a problem out here. We tend not to trust and believe one another. So I wanted to express Gerald's story and tell his story, because I think what he did was not only profound, it also helped a lot of people. And just the impact that he had to be able to draw people, and then word of mouth would spread. So I think the class might have started off with 10, and then the following week it was double that. And then the following week, I mean, it's packed, people coming in, standing, taking notes, and everybody's got their pens and their pads taking notes, because it was information that we could actually, and I'm not going to the white guy to ask him to verify. So I go and do my own research, get in the books. The library is the best. That's the best resource at that time for me, it was. And so get in the books. If I had questions, I would go and ask him. And the one thing about it, once you get in tune with self, the body will let you. It'll tell you. It'll tell you truth. It'll tell you when somebody's feeding you a bunch of BS. So, you can look in a person's eyes. The eyes are the gateway to the soul. And so Jared, he knew what he was talking about, and he was on it and had been on it for years. And so for him to be in that particular place at that particular time to teach that lesson, to extend what he had been given and extend that to us, those are some of the bright stories of the prison experience. There are some stories that aren't so bright, and I have shared those, and I will share some more, just because I don't want our young to think that it's sweet, because sometimes they think that it's, by prison it's easy. No, it's really not. And it takes so much. I always tell people, I'm at a point in life where, money that comes and goes. It's, people fight over money. And to me, it's like, what I'm fighting for is time, because you only get a limited time. You only got a limited time, so you got to do as much as you can with the allotted time that you got. And some people's time is shorter than others. That's just the nature of the universe. That's the nature of life. So the time is more important. So when, especially like in that situation where Brother Jared would take time out of his schedule, he could have been doing anything else to better his career for when he got out, but he took his time out to give. And so it's so very necessary. It's so important. So I don't want brothers to think that, oh, well, I can always do prison. No, that's taking time off your life, time that you won't get back. So with that said, my name is Yurima Karama again. another segment of Voices from Behind the Wall. You can connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can also go to my webpage, which is www.yurimakarama.com. Hope I didn't add an extra W there. It sounded like it, but it's yurimakarama.com. You can go there for booking information. If you want to book me for speaking engagements, performance engagements, you can also go there for messaging. If you have a message, if you want a subject you want me to talk on, that's fine. Just send me a private message, or you can go there for my performance dates and locations. I do perform around the country. So, with that said, Yurima Karama, Voices from Behind the Wall. Peace, blessings, salutations. Until next time. One.